Elon Musk just pulled the ultimate checkmate on the US government, on the EV industry, short sellers in Tesla stock, and just created a massive win for Tesla shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, if the price action of Tesla stock is not reflective of how bullish this is, well, we're going to dive into it here in this video. Tesla stock is up 10%. Here on the day today. Today is Thursday, June 8th, and this is really a day to remember. We need to get into this massive checkmate. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with everything happening in our markets as well as with Tesla stock. And if you don't want to, well, enjoy the video. Let's get into the info. Now, let's jump into this video with exactly what is going on. Tesla and GM just partnered. There's a couple reasons specifically why this is such a big deal, and it's going to have a massive impact to Tesla's share price in the short term and in the long term. And I want to look at some charts. I want to look at some of the option activity, some of the short interest on Tesla to kind of get a grasp of where Tesla stock could go from here, because it does look very bullish. It looked bullish before this happened. Now it just looks really bullish. So let's start off with this. Now, Tesla and GM are partnering so GM can use Tesla's charging network. Now, what's interesting about this, and we might as well acknowledge this right off the bat, is that Tesla uses a charger system known as the NACS, the North American Charging Standard. Now, the current industry standard is CCS. Now, why is this the case? I don't know. There's more NACS chargers, more Tesla chargers than all other EV makers combined in America. The government sets the standard. That's the key. This is a massive checkmate to the United States government because the government alone has allocated billions of dollars, 7.5 billion to be exact, over the next 5 years to EV charging infrastructure. Well, now all of a sudden, if GM, Ford, and Tesla vehicles are going to adopt the Tesla charging network, the North American Charging Standard, this means that Tesla is going to benefit billions of dollars from the government itself. So an actual material fundamental positive is that. Now, on top of it, charging is kind of like the pickaxe and shovel industry of the EVs. We all know the people that got rich during the gold rush, by and large, were the guys selling the pickaxe and shovels. That's where that term came from. Kind of the reason why NVIDIA is at all-time highs, because they are the pickaxe and shovels of the AI revolution. And it looks like Tesla is going to be the pickaxe and shovels of the charging revolution. And this over time is going to grow into a massive business. The charging business alone, if Tesla becomes the dominant player here, which it looks like that's the only outcome at this point, well, it's probably going to equate to the current size of Tesla's business alone. They're probably going to do 100 billion plus a year in just dollars from charging these vehicles. Give it 5 or 10 years. Another way to look at this, per se, if you want to, if you're a long-term investor in Tesla. Now, to give you more specific numbers on this, it usually costs around 25 to 26 cents per kilowatt hour to charge your car at a Tesla supercharger. Now, there's also subscription plans for about $13.99 a month that help to lower this cost. So this is actually a service type business for Tesla, and these superchargers tend to be very profitable. So this really eliminates a lot of the uncertainty that people might have had about Tesla. So I think that's huge in and of itself. Now, it also shows that you're really not going to get too much competition, that this is going to be something equivalent to VHS and CDs, right? Or DVDs. Tesla is like the DVD here, and VHS is like the CCS supercharging network. Networks that ChargePoint use and other charging stations, they're going to have to adopt to Tesla's way of business as well, which again feeds into the government. They will need to send most of that 7.5 billion straight to Tesla to build out this infrastructure. So those are some of the positives. Another pretty straightforward positive for Tesla is the fact that Elon has said in the past very publicly that he would be even willing to license out some of the FSD software. And this was really two partnerships with Ford and GM for Tesla chargers that nobody seen coming. So if this partnership happens, well, who's not to say FSD isn't going to go into all EVs, or Ford and GM aren't going to partner with Tesla to get some of their software. Now, obviously, robo-taxis, the best of the software is not going to be licensed out to GM vehicles. You're not going to have GM vehicles being robo-taxis out there unless it made sense to Tesla investors. But that is also another huge potential revenue booster. Now, Elon has said we're going to see Tesla's ChatGPT moment by the end of this year. That does imply maybe robotaxis are coming a little bit faster than what people had previously expected. Now, if this means nothing to you, if you are not a long-term investor in Tesla, which I think most of you guys are, myself included, if you are solely in this for a short-term to medium-term trade, if you just want to know what Tesla stock is going to do from here, well, let me provide you a little bit more context. Tesla recently has had a lot of good news. Number one thing that kind of weighed down Tesla stock in 2022 was the fact that investors felt like Elon was stretching himself in too many different places. SpaceX, Tesla, now Twitter, the Boring Company, Neuralink, so many different things that he wasn't focused on Tesla. And after all, he sold a lot of Tesla stock in 2022. That selling has since come to an end. Twitter now has a new CEO. Tesla is on the offensive to create another gigafactory. You're in talks with North Mexico. You're in talks with Mongolia. You're in talks with India. You're in talks with the Vietnam, the South Asian area, due to a lot of their natural resources, as well as Mongolia and North Mexico. All of these places really have a core benefit to be had with Tesla. And now another rumor that maybe a Tesla gigafactory is coming to France. Elon Musk is set to visit Paris in the next coming week or two. Now, quote, the tech billionaire said Tesla's hoping to make a major investment in France. That sparked speculation about the company building a gigafactory there. And this article is just coming out. So this might be the first time that you are actually hearing about this. But if they're on the offensive, that is positive. That's showing you in the business, things are going well. And from all indications from earnings reports we've gotten, things are on an upside trajectory for Tesla. Now, even just in the month of May, from the numbers that we can prove coming out of China alone, Tesla delivered more vehicles than Li Auto, NIO, and XPeng combined. Over 77,000 vehicles were delivered in China alone in the month of May. These are insane numbers. Tesla's blowing it out of the park here. Some of this probably has to do with price cuts. Some of this might have to do with consumers just feeling a little bit better about the global economy. Either way you want to put it, things are looking up for Tesla. Now, me personally, you might not hear this from anyone else. I am most bullish, forget anything I just said. I am most bullish about advertising. Why am I most bullish about advertising over the next 3 to 6 months? This is not something that's going to happen tomorrow or next week or the week after that. It's going to take some time for markets to fully understand how big advertising is going to be. It could be 2 or 3 quarters from now. Elon said at the last shareholder meeting they would start to advertise. If they see a good return on investment on that, they will continue to advertise. And Tesla has done what they have done, over 20 billion in revenue every 3 months without spending a dollar on advertising. Now, the general population still thinks you can't drive a Tesla in the rain. And that's a very dramatic analogy, but that's the truth. That's the conception that a lot of people have. Now, some people expect to get stranded on the side of the road and just really irrational fears when it comes to Tesla. And I live in Michigan, so maybe it's arbitrage to where I live, but I've heard this from many different places in America alone, let alone the rest of the world. So there's a lack of education out there. Sure, if you're invested in Tesla and you're in the stock market, which is not the average individualist, congratulations to you for being in the markets. You're taking control of your destiny here. But the average person, the average American, is not. So there's a lack of education out there. When people are considering a new vehicle, Tesla's not even on the list. It's not even on the list. I think that is huge for Tesla, as well as the Cybertruck. There's over 1.5 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck. I think that's also going to be a huge deal as well, coming later in this year, not to mention everything else going on in Tesla. The robots, the robotaxi, FSD technology, all of the things that we invest in Tesla for. None of that is public information, really. People don't know about this. So it's huge. Advertising is going to change the game for Tesla. And I think you're going to see Tesla's order books double or triple by the end of this year, at the very least by 2024. So keep that one in the back of your mind. Now, as far as what's going to happen with Tesla right now, I think you've seen obviously a lot of positive news, and this is going to have a positive reaction on Tesla's share price. What also goes unmentioned a lot right now is the fact that Tesla has a lot of short positions on it. Lots of short positions. About 23 billion worth of these short positions. The dollar amount that is currently sold short in Tesla in just the last 3 months is up 53%. 3 months ago, you only had 15 billion sold short in Tesla. So I think you're really at that point where shorts are starting to get destroyed on these short positions. A lot of these short positions were taken out in the 150 to 180 range. You're sitting at 250 with Tesla right now. So I think shorts covering alone is going to push this stock well over $300 per share. Now, you can only speculate to what degree shorts are going to cover on their short positions. If they have enough money to stay in these short positions, they won't have to cover. I personally think they will. But I think this also does another thing. This partnership with now Ford and GM is going to force analysts to start to raise their price targets, which is also going to be a massively bullish catalyst for Tesla stock. The average analyst price target is $189.16. The return potential is negative 19.5%. Tesla stock is at $246.55 right now. Analysts are going to have to raise their price targets just like they do in any stock rallies or any stock falls. They raise and lower their price targets. And that has a positive impact to Tesla stock as well. Now, not to mention some of the option activity. You have seen a lot of option activity. A lot of this activity is really targeting in between about $240 to $300 to that upside. Some positioning is more bullish than that. Like you can see right here, a January 19th, 2024, $400 call purchase for $771 a contract, a break even of 407. This would be close to a new all-time high for Tesla in 6 months. Some of these positions are massively bullish. And I think this begs the question alone. Can Tesla stock exponentially rally from here? Now, the best way that I like to try to answer this broad question is looking at some of the technicals and using some common sense here. A lot of people are going to say like I indicated in the last video, subscribe to the channel if you want to already know this part of this video. Tesla stock probably should have never went to $101 down here, right? So some people are going to come out and say you should sell Tesla because Tesla is now up 130% from its lows you've seen in January. But should it have been down there in the first place? Probably not. The fear was overblown. So it was an overcorrection. And now you're just starting to get back to a normalization with Tesla. In fact, this is the cheapest valuation that you have seen on Tesla on a price to sales metric since 2020. And last time you were at an 8 price to sales ratio, the stock went up 700%. Am I going to sit here and say the stock's going to go up another 700%? Well, probably not. But could the stock rally another 50%, 70% from here based off of all of this good news? I would draw that conclusion as a yes. Now, if you look at this descending line of resistance, this has been a multi-year now downtrend in Tesla. You just broke above that. And now you're well above that considering the move we've seen in after hours here. Tesla stock's trading around right here where my cursor is. So you broke that, found perfect support, and now you're making an even bigger move to the upside. Even look at the moving averages. I mean, you have left those in the dust. They are just gone at this point. And you are seeing multiple bullish indicators over the past couple of weeks that continue to suggest Tesla stock could go higher from here. Now, people like to group Tesla in the big tech names that have rallied too much this year. Well, when you really look at Tesla compared to other names, just keep this chart pictured in your mind. This is a downtrending chart. You need to rally from here. Get this. From where we are now, you need to rally another 68% to get to an all-time high from here. Look at this multi-chart layout that we have right now. Look at it. Look at an Apple for an example. You are at your all-time high. You were just above your all-time high in Apple. If you look at something like a Nvidia, you are again above your all-time high by a long shot there. Look at something like a Microsoft. You are again at your all-time high. So why is Tesla not? Considering Tesla's actually growing at a much faster pace than some of these other companies. So from where I see it right now, my base case that I laid out weeks ago was Tesla stock to rally to $250 to $300. After this, I think Tesla could hit $350 pretty dang easily. And that would still be, if Tesla hit $350, that would still be about 20% away from its all-time high. So it's not even an all-time high. You'd still be off of it by about 20%. Seems pretty logical to me. That is going to do it here in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next one.